Well, hello there. Good day to you all. Listen, I just decided to slide in for just a bit to drop additional tips and to share some gems as it pertains to, of course, spending that time with your teen prior to them leaving the home. Yep, you see me here in Texas with a scarf on. My mother came for the holidays from St. Louis, and I really think that she left some of this cold here with us. It's been a little nippy in the air, so I had to toss on a scarf, and because it was slightly a chill this morning. You know what? And I'm at the airport right now. I'm sure that some of you mothers, many of you mothers, can agree with me that sometimes we have a lot of irons in the fire, and sometimes we may be spread a little thin. This has been a very interesting week for me. It's of course, it's Saturday morning right now, about 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, but nonetheless, it was a full week. And then on yesterday, of course, attended my youngest daughter's basketball game, and thereafter, of course, needed to go to, I missed the wedding, but was at the reception to celebrate with the bride and groom of the family, closer friends with my husband. He wanted me there, so I was there, and now I'm at the airport right now. I woke up about 3 a.m. this morning, so it was just listening in to make sure to see if that was my call to board the plane. But woke up about 3:30 a.m. this morning, got to the airport about 4:30 a.m. and just sitting and waiting right now, of course, for to board, and then for, of course, the flight to depart, and of course have some work to do while I'm sitting and waiting. But wanted to jump in and again toss some tips and drop some gems as it pertains to just taking care of our teens, and then also caring for ourselves as well. For those of you who are in our private Facebook group, Emerging Mothers, there's been, of course, this week information that's been dropped as it pertains to those years when that many of us will experience after our last teen has transitioned out of the home. And so, when we think about those types of years, and I've shared information in the group, and I mean, listen, we're on, of course, I'm in the group right now, and then also on Instagram. So if you have yet to join the group, please search us up, Emerging Mothers, a private Facebook group. That way you can just go in and browse around, look at some quotes. There are a few polls in there, also some videos and information that I know will help you as you're within this universal theme that I know occurs amongst the mothers, that there's this emptiness that's felt when our teens begin to transition out of the home. And it's so interesting because when we think about our husbands or just men in general, it's almost like they tie and not as though they purposely try to do it, but it just almost happens. Whereas their identity is tied to their profession and what they do. And I've known, for there to be, and I know about 2 or 3 of them, whereas when it was time for them to retire, or when something happened with their profession, or when they weren't able to manage their businesses because they were entrepreneurs, then a few of them I know for sure have fallen into a depression because their identity was tied to that profession. You know what? As it happens to men and their profession, it's almost as though it happens to us mothers as it pertains to the connection that we have with our teens, our children. When they begin to transition out of the home, it's almost a grieving period that we experience, that we have to begin to manage. And one of the ways we manage that is through preparation. And that's what I want to help each and every one of us with. And there's a 12-month program that, of course, step by step will help mothers to manage that transition prior to their teens exit. And they find themselves on the other side of our doors, beginning to live their own lives and become interdependent and begin to make their own decisions. All of those great things, which of course we raise them to do However, when that time arrives, it's different for us, and so that's the help that I provide to mothers. So kind of took a side path there, but nonetheless, want to re-encourage you to spend time, of course, with your teen, as you're, of course, spending time with yourself, making sure that you're taking care of yourself and practicing self-care and all of that. Then also realize that conflict is normal. It really is. Whether there's a slight conflict between you and your teen, whether there's a slight conflict between your teen with your other teens, your spouse and your teens, those things happen. And so the first step is to work on making sure that communication is in place so that conflict, of course, can be resolved. So I know that you'll do that. And if you see me looking from here also to there, of course, I'm trying to give eye contact on both social media platforms. And then also, even prior to your teen transitioning out of the home, you'll want to make sure you're giving awesome, clear guidelines in reference to your expectations of them. That really helps to reduce, any potential conflict that could occur. And so giving those guidelines and making sure that those expectations are clear and what it is that you're expecting, and because they have yet to leave the home. Now, there's going to be a time they're going to be able to make their own decisions on the college campus, and then when they are experiencing residential living, they have their own apartment, etc., they're going to be able to make their own decisions. However, of course, it's good for them to still be respectful of the rules of our homes prior to them leaving. And then also something that I've been practicing, which has been invaluable, has been, respecting the viewpoints, of course, of my teens, and really, but mine are gliding into young adults here in just a bit. I do have a 14-year-old, a 21-year-old, and then a 24-year-old. But focusing on respecting their views. Will we always agree? Oh my goodness, absolutely not. Sometimes, of course, they'll have different thoughts. Of course, their actions will be different. Also, by the same token, their dress will be different. Do we always agree with, their appearance? Sometimes we may not. How they're wearing their hair, it's okay. Also, I think about, the people that they date and the friends that they make and keep. Sometimes, we may not necessarily agree with that, but by the same token, there's a level of respect that we want to maintain, because I've even come across just those things that teens have mentioned that they would like, of course, mothers to know about them, so that those interactions can be enhanced, they can be improved. Sometimes we have a tendency to think less before some things that we say and some things that we do. And so if you want me to drop that list in our Facebook group or even in our Instagram, I'll do that just so that we can be clear and understand the mindset of teens, so those interactions can be better. And then I know that we'll continue to encourage them along the way, every step of their lives, even when they glide into young adulthood. And then also adults, we'll encourage them along the way. And then in order to do any of this, of course, as mentioned before, we have to practice self-care. And so, even as I fly out to Denver and spend time with my daughter, who's looking for a town home or of course, a home as she starts her position, of course, in the engineering field. Her and I will spend time together because this time we're going to cherish it. We may catch the movies. We may, of course, we do have a hotel room right now as we try to find her a residence. But, going out for ice cream, just whatever. But spending that time is absolutely essential. So listen, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you all. each and every day. Love your times. We'll be boarding. Gonna do some work first and then board and then be in Denver here. It's only like a hour and 15-minute flight. And then, of course, we'll spend time with her and then back here with fam. But nonetheless, know that you'll hear from me. If not, of course, it will be Thursday, next Thursday, of course, for our 30-minute or less live, but you may even hear from me then. Oh, as a matter of fact, I think while I'm in Denver, I may even come back on and just share with y'all some of the time we're spending together. So again, thank you so very much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. And until next time, be safe, mask up, and take care of yourselves. Bye.